Hey, what's up everybody? It's Randy. Thanks for joining me today. On this video, I am going to be doing an update on the My Orchid is Dying plant. Yes, it's finally here. Also, make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to be answering some of the most asked questions from that video. All right, guys, so let's get at it. This is a truly special day for a lot of different reasons. I even if you notice, I even cut off some of my quarantine beard so I can be acceptable. Anyway, for most of you guys, that's how you found me from this video, the how or My Orchid is Dying video. And one of the biggest questions I got was, how is that orchid doing? Now, the thing about it was, I made that video back in December, and it is now, man, where are we? June. Wow, it's crazy. We're in June, and like literally, I went and bought that orchid, and it was just the orchid I felt needed to be used for that video. And I wasn't making videos before that, but I knew I wanted to make a video on repotting the orchids and why people's orchids was dying when they got them as presents or bought them from the store. And of course, if you haven't watched the video, go back and watch it because there's a lot of information there. And so I just put it up and just kind of forgot about it. If you look at the Randy M. Harris page, it's just kind of a hodgepodge of stuff, and I'll just throw stuff up, and yeah, and just kind of put it up, and people was watching it, no big deal. And somebody asked me about an orchid, and I literally just was like, "Here, take this one," and I gave them the orchid, and everything went to heck, and we went into quarantine. And right when we went into quarantine, for some reason, and I think it might have been because we was in quarantine, that video just took off. And I mean, when I say took off, I mean probably like 15,000 views to up over like almost 600,000 views now. And I went from probably 200 and something subscribers to almost, I think 13,000 now. So it's been crazy. And so this plant, just now people's asking me about this plant, and it was with somebody else because, as you know, part of the Black Orchid Project is to, usually I wait until it's blooming, but I'll get plants healthy and I will give them away. Like I said, I wasn't thinking twice about it, and I just let the person have this plant. We went into quarantine and I couldn't get it back. So that's what took so long to get that back. Now, in January, I decided I want to make more videos, so I started the Black Orchid Project channel. So a lot of you ask me, why do you have two channels and why is there double content? Because that is the community channel, and I'm really trying to grow that channel, but this is a channel where everybody's going to see the content right now. So that kind of answers those questions. But anyway, so yeah, I was able to get it back like 3 weeks ago. I posted a picture down in the community section to show people, well, I hadn't even had it back. They sent me a picture of it, and I posted in the community section, and I told you I was gonna make a video. And so it's time, the video is here. So let's take some close-up looks at the plant. So there it is. There is a plant all close up. As you can see, it is extremely healthy, and I have it in my hand here. This particular leaf wasn't even there, where it was just starting to kick out when I got it. So I gave it a little food, and it's been getting some good sunshine because the person I gave it to, they had some light coming in their bathroom, but it wasn't a lot. And so it's been getting a little more light, but they put it in a perfect place as far as to rescue it because it was in the bathroom and had a lot of humidity. And so here's that big leaf. As you can see, there's a couple of small leaves here. Those are the stress leaves. So these were kicked out when it was under stress. Well, basically these, because I think this one was here. No, this one wasn't. It was just one leaf. So this one's kicked out under stress. As you can see, this one kicked out under stress. This one is small, and this is the new one. And I think this one now is going to start to grow a lot bigger. There's a couple of roots there. You can see there's a couple of big roots there. There was a few left, so that one's grown out. and I'm guessing there's some roots down there. I haven't looked too far down, and I'm not gonna pull it out. But yeah, so that is the plant. So many of you guys, again, asked me about that plant. You wanted to see it. I even had a couple people say the reason I wasn't showing it is because it didn't live. But again, you know, I didn't worry about that because I knew where the plant was at the point. At that point, I was being told it was alive by the person that had it, and all I could do was relay that message. So I even had to go to the point of pinning it up top. So there you go. That is the update on that plant. And like I said, it's just been a whirlwind, and I'm looking forward to taking care of this plant until it spikes again. I'm not expecting a spike till probably next December, maybe January. That's the way our spiking works around here if you just do it naturally. And so we'll get into some spiking stuff and things like why it spikes. And so this one needs to get a little more healthy, and then but I think it'll be ready to spike once the time comes. Now, let's get into some of the questions because I got a lot of questions about that particular video. So I want to touch on a few of those questions and answer a few of those questions that I got. So one of the first ones was obviously, can we see the plant or what happened to the plant? Now we know what happened to the plant and that it is doing great, and hopefully we'll get a spike out of it. Now, the next one was, why didn't you take the yellow leaf off? Well, orchids will naturally yellow their leaves and they will drop them on their own. And so for me, I just wanted to let it drop the leaf on its own. If you tear, sometimes, like if you tear a plant or rip a plant, just like us, if we scuff our knee or cut ourselves, our body will send a lot of energy to that point or that place to start to heal it. And so the same thing happens with plants. If they get injured or you cut them or something like that, it's going to send energy to that, to heal that. And it was already stressed. So I felt like if I put it in there, it was going to fall off on its own and it was going to do it in its own time. So that's why I left the yellow leaf on there. People asked me about the dirt inside the medium, or let's talk about the medium first. People said, where did I get the medium? I've posted it a few times. It's Dr. Delphinium in Richardson, Texas. That's Dr. Delphinium in Richardson, Texas. They do ship, and keep an eye out because I am doing a walkthrough of their bloom house really, really soon. And so that video will be up. It should be, depending on when you see this, that video will be up, but it's a walkthrough of their bloom house and it's really, really cool. So that's where I get the medium, and there was a little bit of dirt, and I probably shouldn't have said dirt. It was more shavings, like the bark and everything that had been rubbing together, so it creates a little bit of like a dust, and it does add a little bit of moisture to the mix. And usually, actually, it will rinse away pretty fast. So it wasn't dirt. It was more just kind of the shavings. Oh, and I thought you had to put them in clear pots. A lot of times you'll see them in clear pots, especially the nursery pots. You'll see them in the nursery pots and they're always clear. And that way you can get a good idea of what the roots look like. It is definitely preferable to put them in clear pots. Now, the thing about it is clear pots can get expensive if you're rescuing plants. So those little black pots I can get, sometimes they'll just give them to me at the nursery. Sometimes they'll charge me like 5-10 cents for them. So when you have, so many plants and you don't know if you're going to give them away or whatever, then it's just more cost effective to put them in the darker pots, and the darker pots does not hurt them. So what I would ask people a lot of times when they would come at me about the clear pots, I would say, well, when you put it in the clear pot, a lot of times you put it in a decorative pot, which is going to take the sun away. So it basically is dark in there, right? Also, a lot of the roots are inside the medium, and so it's dark in there. So the whole idea about them having to be in clear pots is kind of a misnomer that a lot of people think. They can be in dark pots because a lot of times they're in dark places. It just makes it easier to see the roots down the road. So, and I don't put them, usually plants are small, so that is the biggest dark pot I'll put them in. The next time I will always put them in a clear pot, unless I put them directly in an orchid pot. Let's see, how often do you soak water? There's no schedule for soak watering. It depends. I meant to bring some other plants up, but I have some plants that's in like 2-inch cups, and those things have to be watered, especially this time of the year, every few days. So 1 or 2 days, I have to put water on those because they'll dry completely out. I have some bigger plants that can go 2 weeks, and so the one thing that's you need to learn to do is to learn your plants. Learn how long it takes for them to dry out. And you want them to dry out completely for a couple of days. So you want to soak them, let them dry out, be dried out for a couple of days, and then rewater. And that's where the clear pots come in, because you can start to see the roots go from green to silver, and you can see your bark go from dark brown to like a lighter brown. And that's when you know, let me water my plants. So there's no, if I had to give you a schedule, I would say the average 4-inch pot, probably every 7 to 10 days, or let's just say 5 to 7 days, and your bigger plants pretty much every 7 to 10 days, and sometime up to 14. And they're better dry than they are wet. So it's better to let them dry out and forget to water them for a week than to sit and water them every single day. So what else? Oh, the spike. So I had a lot of people come. You're not supposed to cut it all the way down. You're not supposed to cut it all the way down. You're supposed to cut it above the first node, or you're supposed to leave it alone. I just did a video on that, so there's a new video coming about cutting the spike. I give 3 reasons or 3 different options of cutting the spike. I always learn to cut the spike all the way down, and so that's what I did. Some people cut it above the first node, and that's basically to make sure that there's no fungus in it or bacteria that will get down into the plant. The node will usually stop it. And so some of them I will cut above the node, some I'll cut close, depends on how close I can get to the plant. But that's why I cut that particular plant all the way down. The spike was dead and it just needed to go. So that is why I cut the spike. Let's see here. I think that's it. Let me see. Oh, and what was it that you put inside the water? Like I said, a lot of people couldn't hear me clearly, and I do apologize for that, but it was just orchid food. It was a small amount of orchid food. And when I say a small, I mean a small amount of orchid food, just to give it a little nourishment. That's not something I usually do, just because sometime when you feed them, it will actually, cause them to stress out a little bit more. But to answer your question, that was orchid food. So those are the main questions. I hope if you answered one of those questions, or you asked one of those questions and I didn't get back to you, because I tried to get back to everybody, I hope that I actually answered it for you. But if not, I hope you see this video, and I hope I got your question answered for you. Now, before I wrap up this video, I want to truly say thank you to everybody that watched the video. I want to say thank you to everybody that commented, whether bad or good. I love the discussion. I want to say thank you to everybody that subscribed and just gave it a thumbs up. For all you guys that left this channel or the Randy M. Harris channel and went over to the Black Orchid Project channel, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that, because as you can probably see from this, I keep it going in the background, I'm a professional photographer. And right when all this happened was when my busy season was getting ready to start. I was shooting XFL. I do pro sports and headshots and portraiture and different things like that. And I was just going into busy season, and in a matter of 2 days, everything was taken away. All my clients went away. Honestly, income went away. And so, we all went through a stressful point, but I know a lot of creatives, it really hit them hard. And I wasn't making YouTube videos. And so, like literally everything was taken. So it was just, and we were stuck in the house. And so it was just a matter of sitting here trying to figure out everything, how everything was going to work, why everything was going on the way it was going on. And so when this hit, it was just kind of at an opportune time. And it gave me something to do. It gave me something to focus on. And it gave me a little bit of joy, just because I saw what that one video was doing and the joy it brought to other people. And so, so now I guess to a certain extent, I'm a YouTuber. I'm not a big YouTuber, but now I'm a YouTuber. And so it's done a lot for me, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that participated, and I hope you'll stick around for the journey. So, you know, like I said, there's the Black Orchid Project channel, and that's where we're building a community. So I hope you come over and join us there if you're really into orchids and things like that. So, and then of course there's the Instagram over at Black Orchid Project, BLK Orchid Project. So a lot of you guys have started to follow me there. So again, I just want to say thank you. And you know, if you've stuck around this long, just want to say thank you. Another thing I'm going to give a try is I'm starting a Patreon. For those of you that know what Patreon is, the link is going to be down in the bottom. For those that don't, it's just a way to kind of fund creators, or you know, if you like videos, you just fund your favorite creators and things like that, because a lot of creators are going through some hard times right now. I haven't put together all the tiers and different things like that, but right now I have like one tier, and it's like $3. And it's just like, if you want to give me $3, you know, a month, just to kind of say thank you, we enjoy the videos, that would be greatly appreciated. Pretty soon I'm going to come out with some different tiers where the higher the tier, the more things you get. Maybe we can do some one-on-ones. I'm probably going to throw in some prints. Like I'm going to do a print option of like some of my favorite prints or some of my favorite photos. I'm always going to be doing some giveaways of, and I shouldn't have said auction, I mean giveaways of like prints. I'm definitely going to be doing some giveaways of different plants, some of the rescues. I'm also going to bring in some more rare plants, things like that. And so there will be a tier system, and we'll have a community over there too. So if you're not familiar with Patreon, maybe go check that out. I'll be making the video for that really soon. So I am going to wrap this up. Again, thank you. I hope the journey was worth it for you, and I hope you continue to hang out with me here on YouTube and the other platforms. So, as always, be safe. More importantly, be kind. Never give up on them. Until next time, peace.